Hey guys, this is Yoda. In this video, we'll talk about how to properly position Kujo, the second boss of Mechagon Workshop, which is in this season's dungeon pool for Mythic Plus. So the first thing you need to know about Kujo is his ability called Venting Flames. Basically, he just starts pulsing AoE, and on a high enough key level, that's going to kill anyone that is getting hit by it. And in order to avoid it, you hide behind one of these boxes. Now, the way these boxes are coated with venting flames is different than you would expect. So this is how the cheese works. Whether or not you're behind the box is tracked by a buff. So right now you'll see that I don't have it. I have a weak aura tracking it here. The buff is called, I believe it's called hidden or hiding. You can find a weak aura for this easily on Waggo, but basically you need to position so that you get the buff. However, even though I have this buff, I am still in LOS of the boss. I can still hit him. And if you notice, I can still hit him with my melee skills because I position him properly. So I'm still hitting the boss despite him casting Venting Flames. I hunt, which moves me, but then I just move quickly back. I'm going to be full uptime on this. So if you're able to do this as a tank, your DPS are going to love you. A lot of DPS are like really dependent on having uptime. Like if your mage combusts and then he has the LOS Venting Flames, he might just hate you for the rest of his life. So we're going to talk about how to get this to happen every single time. So the first thing you need to know is that the positioning should be on a corner. If it's too far into the side of the box, then it won't work. You'll have to like run all the way over here and actually LOS the boss or it won't work. If it's on this side, then obviously you can't hit him. So it needs to be on a corner of the box. Also, you should play for the long side. So you're looking to do something like this where the boss is on a corner of the box. The second thing you need to know is that what actually matters is the middle of the boss's hitbox. His tail doesn't matter, his head doesn't matter. What matters is you can see like I'm targeting him in this little circle. What matters is where is the middle of his hitbox, like where my mouse is. The third thing that you need to know is that if you try to move him by like moving your character at full speed, then he will try to move behind you and overmove. So the correct way to move him is by tapping your keyboard. Like either you can backpedal and hold like, you can like backpedal with your left hand and then hold like both mouse buttons with your right hand to like slowly tap moving backward in order to like not overmove him. Or you can just tap the W key backpedaling to not overmove him. Or you can also just like use left and right in a similar way. Backpedal is how you move very slowly and precisely though, so I recommend doing that. So you see the first thing I do as soon as he finishes the jumps, I identify where he's in the room. So we ended up here, which means I'm going to need to pull him so that into this corner, right? So in order to pull him there, I need to make sure that I'm facing him, and then my back is going to be like right here. Notice how I'm like very micro stutter moving, right? I'm not like, I'm not moving very fast. I'm like I'm basically pushing the back pedal key and using both mouse buttons to move forward. And like very, very slowly adjusting. Note how the middle of his hitbox, so this is the important part, the middle of his hitbox is not passing this line, right? If the middle of his hitbox passes this line, then I moved him too far. So I move him exactly here, and notice how I'm like kind of in the middle of his hitbox too, and slowly backpedaling. I move him very precisely. As soon as he's here, I move straight to the long side and then backpedal until I get this buff, and we just hit him. If he's slightly out of position, then sometimes your melee won't be able to hit him and your range will be able to hit him. This is considered like not ideal, but not a complete failure. So I'll watch it one more time. So the airdrop is going to go out and then it's going to leap. So you have to play around kind of where your range are, or where your DPS are baiting. So boom, you see where everyone's baiting. It's going to jump on this person last. And now that I see where the boss is, I could technically go here, but I'm already here, so I'm probably going to go here. Oh, actually, no, I do decide to go here. So now that I've decided I'm going this way, I'm going to drag him to this corner, which means I'm going to slowly... You can see there, I actually moved kind of quickly, and he just like did the weirdest movement ever, so you want to avoid that. At this point, I kind of have to parallel park him, so I'm going to move him like this way along my mouse, and then probably this way, because I always play for the long side. So move him very slightly. Note that I'm paying attention to the middle of his hitbox. See how his middle of hitbox is like barely in line here with this box's vertical or long side. As soon as that happens, I move. See how I moved into his hitbox? I don't move this way, right? If I move this way, he's liable to like overmove again. So I move into the middle of his hitbox so that he's like, there's no way he's going to try and move like behind me because he's like, oh, I can already hit the tank. I don't need to move anymore. So I move into the middle of his hitbox and then this way. I don't move directly, I move into his hitbox and then I move this way. This one, if I had a little bit of more time, I could have like moved him further back, like 1 more pixel. But I ran out of time, so it is, I barely got it. As you can see, I do have the buff and I am in melee range, so this is a very close one. Since I was limited time, I kind of started like on the wrong side, and then he overmoved like a little bit, so I ran out of time there. So that is going to be the detailed explanation of how to move Kujo. Hopefully I covered everything. Thank you all for watching. Peace out.